Hey everybody, hope you're having a fantastic trade day. We had a massive amount of institutional, let's get in there and micromanage these markets as we play with Fed discount window money. Only investment banks get to play with that stuff, and boy, were they active today. I was watching their typical patterns when they come in and fire off automated trades. They do zero DTE options buying, they do futures buying, and they do baskets of stocks buying in conjunction with each other. And that lift right out of that area, that was just, I was licking my chops to be long out of that. Just look at that. Some big recovery action. They get lift. They start cycling it as they accumulate. And there was a W pattern in here you could see on the scalper charts, and then they shot it up into the upper range, and then they came all the way up and did a huge key level sweep on the day. And then it was all kind of faded there, but they still were hanging on to it, dissuading sellers so they could park it, roughly a little bit higher than the mid section of the day's trading range or mid area. Okay, now I keep getting lots and lots of emails. Hey, do I have to trade scalper on a Renko chart or your grid Renko? I don't like those. I like time-based, or I like tick, or I like volume charts. You can trade it on whatever you want. Let me give you an example. There's some people in our group, and on occasion they shoot me emails showing what they're doing on 15-second charts, for instance. So let's take a look at the 15-second chart today. And I would, when I first saw that somebody was trading on a 15-second chart, I was like, are they out of their minds? But then over time, I get it. I see what they're doing. So anyhow, here was the news. That was the CPI, or what was it today? PPI news? I don't remember what news it was. I've been so busy wrapping up all kinds of programming projects on NT8 and other platforms. That's like, I don't even know what's up anymore. But nice big spike there. I don't have my strategy turned on typically until about 7:32 U.S. Central Time, so Chicago Globex time. So from 7:32 on, like my 1-minute chart template or some of the other templates I use, even on some of the scalper stuff, I will typically wait till 7:32 or later. Some of the scalper stuff, I'll just turn it on near the open. But we did. You can see there was a long leading up in pre-market to the news. The news got short, gave you one rotation lower, gave you a second push lower. And I always pay attention to that. If I'm in an automated trade and I get a nice push out of the move, and then she lifts on me and then gives me a push and a really nice push below a prior pivot, if I see it start lifting a lot of times, I'll grab my entry to an exit point to just get out of there, and then I'll re-enable the strategy to get ready to take whatever next trade. I pay attention to pivots and everything like that a lot, especially on news reactionary type movements after a fairly significant news release. But then not soon after that, it got long and it cycled a bit, and then they came all the way up and they cleaned out that level and some prior levels and did a big level sweep. So I liked the short side action. I hit the short side on a lower time frame grid Renko chart and caught some of that move, and then I was done for the day. I hate when it does that. So anyhow, the 15-second chart is workable, and I haven't even really optimized it. I have settings on here from a Renko chart. I just turned on the 15-second chart and kind of, really haven't touched settings. The one area, though, today I watched, and I made sure when I saw this setting up, I went and turned on one of my lower time frame grid Renko charts with a scalper on it to catch along, was right here. There's a big, gigantic W pattern here and lift. So on a lower time frame, I wanted to, whenever I got a signal and it triggered long, I wanted to be in long out of that move, because you can see institutionals were absorbing here after recovery move, and they had to fight hard in here to recover. So they recovered. They were cycling in liquidity, they got a push, got some recent shorties to let go, settled back, they grabbed it and pushed it, and then it came back again and gave a really nice W pattern. And I just shot a whole series of videos, you'll see if you go scroll back a few days, on price patterns for trading. So when I see price patterns, sometimes I will go turn on my scalper that's on a pretty low time frame, knowing that I want to get long. Hey, the next long signal that triggers, I want to be in that as the market is building up a price pattern. So if I see the market and I start seeing a W pattern, and I can see, that I was paying attention on the day to how much institutionals were doing recovery moves earlier. After the open, they were holding this level. They held that level again. Now we've come down, and then we have a big potential for a W pattern forming. I wanted to be long. And then we got lift out of there. It took a while, but then it actually broke above this level and had a heck of a run. So that was a nice move. Then we got a level sweep. Then I'm like, oh, I want to be short. So as we're pushing after this big linear move, then I go on the lower time frame chart and turn it on to be short, catch the next short. When I got the short, I got a piece of that. So I do that frequently where, I'll have my core templates running. And if, I kind of like, let's say I'm in a core template and I'm not getting a lot of extra P&L, the market's cycling a bit, I'll blip that trade out, keep whatever profit I have, and go target some of these price pattern moves. So I don't have to trade them manually. I can if I want, but I can just turn on automation, getting ready in anticipation of trying to catch a move, trying to catch a short, any sort of short from a rotation after a level sweep. We swept a key level. It's gone. Now, if we get a short, I want to be in it. Or I see a big W pattern in an area where I see an unending amount of institutional, like every time the market is coming down here, they're coming in and being buyers and lifting price, with some authority away from those price levels. And I see it lifting, and I want to get long. I want to see what I can get out of that move. And my risk on a trade where I'm getting long is in an area that's been defended for many, that was a long period of time that area price was defended today. So, okay, let's go look at the lower time frame chart where I was watching to turn on and off stuff to get in and catch pattern-based setups I saw developing. Okay, so here's the area that held. That was the basis of the lift out of that area. Market was lifting. We had a W pattern in the area. Get the drawing tool. There was basically a W pattern, and it was starting to lift. The market was cycling a bit, but on a low time frame, getting triggered into a long with not a lot of risk. 1-to-1 stop to break even plus, and rotations, and then that did break out of that range. But here was the big one is paying attention to is the level sweep. We swept that prior. There was a key level that I was tracking. We swept it. Turn on automation to get short. Whenever I get a signal, get a short, and caught a little bit of a move on that. Sometimes these level sweeps, you get a more pronounced movement, initial reaction movement. Now, the other thing that can happen, you can get short and it can go sideways and just keep grinding higher. That's okay. If it happens, it happens. If I'm getting in a trade like this on a super low time frame, I don't have much risk on. So I'm not taking a lot of risk. Now, I'm not getting in this like, ooh, I want to get 2-to-1. I'm hoping to get in here and seeing if it'll really break down. Then I'll have my stop to break even plus, and then I can manage the trade manually from there. Now I can go in the settings of the scalper strategy and have the trail stop following it along, but When I'm just doing these little targeted, when I see like a level sweep or I see a big pattern and I want to get in a particular direction, then I tend to just watch it, watch the lower time frame, watch the higher time frame, and decide if I want to stay in that trade or not. When it's already in the money, I'm already protected and I don't have any risk on anymore. So anyhow, I'll put out more videos now next week. Since I'm wrapping up a bunch of key programming projects, and I don't do the programming, I have programmers that do the work for me. Getting into next week, when I can wind down that back and forth time I have to spend with the programmers, trying to keep pushing things along, then next week I'm going to start filming, running the scalper different times in the morning, and then I will post those up. So yeah, a lot of programming stuff is getting wrapped up, and it's kind of like I'm at the pace now. About every day or two, I'm going to keep, adding stuff to the program that we've been waiting on, and we've been doing a lot of updates to the scalper. We got one more big update to the scalper, and then the updated version of the iGRID Evo strategy is about to hit, and work that's going on other platforms about to start getting deployed. So all kinds of good stuff. I'll put up more updates tomorrow, but just wanted to show you, there's different ways that you can use these tools. You don't have to use the grid Renko candle. You can use any kind of bar type you want, and I can definitely show you how to dial in the indicator. Remember, we just did that update in the scalper. We have our new 4th method of smoothing, and this one's special to dial in the indicator to a particular instrument and time frame that you're on, even if you're on something like a 15-second chart. Okay, if you have any questions, info@gridalgo.com. Have a great day. Talk to y'all later.